Warning, the following video has not been approved by the Comic Code Authority and is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The.Comic.Assassin. It's Friday. I hope all of y'all having a great week, and I'm wishing all of you guys an even better weekend. It's been a weird week for me, man. The weather has been just so crappy. It's been pouring down rain. We got flash flooding everywhere. In fact, we've had deaths contributed to this flooding in the area that I'm at, right? So I'm supposed to go to work right after I make this video, and I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get there. And even if I can, I don't even know how much I'm going to be able to get done because of all this flooding. So yeah, it's just nasty outside. I hope the weather is much more beautiful where you guys are located. But yeah, plus my son's been sick all week. This is like the first day he's been gone back to school all week long. So, and yeah, I can't control the weather. I can't control these germs. So life goes on. But I know you didn't come here to listen to that. You want to hear about what books I picked up this week, as well as doing a comic book review. Now, before we get into that, we do have a little bit of news I'd like to share with you guys. First off, we got some entertainment options for you guys this weekend because we have Lock and Key. Comes out on Netflix today. If you're not familiar with Lock and Key, it's based off a comic book / graphic novel done by Joe Hill. If you don't know the name Joe Hill is the one that they're doing the Hill House comics with DC Black Label right now. That's where they get the Hill for Hill House. So that's coming out. I've never read it before. My wife actually read the first trade, and she said that it was really good. Like, she wanted to keep reading more, but she just haven't gotten around to it yet. But we also have the Birds of Prey movie coming out, right? And for once, I'm actually going to go to a movie on opening day. I rarely go to the movies just because I have kids, but it's also my oldest daughter's birthday weekend, and this is something she wanted to do, so me and the missus were taking her and a few of her friends out to go see Birds of Prey. I'll let you guys know what I think. I won't spoil it, but I'll let you guys know what I think about it once I'm done watching it. But yeah, let's just jump into the books that I picked up this week. This one I picked up, this wasn't a new book, and I'm sure this has happened to you before. Right? I got this one. Web of Venom, the Godson, or the Good Son. And I got it because I was like, I don't think that I picked this one up, and then where'd it go? I started looking through my stack, and I was like, oh man, I already had it. Right? When you pick up books and you haven't read it yet, and then in the back of your mind, you're like, I don't know if I picked this one up yet. I don't want to read it. I'll just pick it up anyway. So yeah, so now I got 2 copies of this book. So I got that. I had to get me the Immortal Hulk number 30. And then also had to get the Immortal Hulk Great Power number 1. And they actually had that cover B one in my box. I was like, nah, I want the regular cover A. So I just traded out. Only one indie that I was able to find. I didn't get to my LCS till Thursday, so a lot of the indie books that I probably would have wanted to get, they usually get a low number of, and I wasn't able to get a hold of them then. But I did go Philadelphia number 3. I don't know. This is a simple cover, but there's something about it that I really like. It's dark, and yeah, this has been a fun read. And then Batman '89. Had to go with that Matina. And then another Matina. And I'll tell you a story about this one too. The Joker Harley Criminal Sandy number 3. Alright. Now, I was tempted to put this one back. This was one of my top picks for the week just because of the cover, but I haven't been reading the story. But the reason why this was in my box is because I told my LCS a long time ago to pull me Matina. So they keep pulling me Matina stuff. That's why I have this one versus the other cover. And I need to get that changed. Like I had him pulling them back when Matina was more hot and his stuff was harder to obtain. Now they order plenty of them whenever he does do a cover. So I probably need to get them to take that off because I honestly don't know what's going on in this story. But I got the book. But it's one of those things. I asked them to pull something for me. They pull it. I can't go back on my word and put it back on the shelf. I don't think that's fair to the LCS. But the one book that I'm going to be reviewing this today, and just one, and it's also odd because it's a Marvel book. And you know me, I normally do indie books. But I've been talking about this one for a minute. I figured I would share it. Dark Agnes, #1. Now, and this is her first solo series. She first made her first appearance in this whole Conan Serpent at War series. And I was curious to see if I would actually like her solo series. I'm not going to go page by page. I'm going to show you some of the stuff that's in the book, let you kind of know what's going on, and then I'll give you my overall take about it. This takes place back in 16th century France. Basically, you have this scene where this guy is about to get beheaded. All right, he's about to get executed. And, the guy is sitting here and he's listing off all the charges, and some of them are pretty, BS. He's like, he's being charged with corruption of the innocent, seduction and adultery, stealing, cheating, heresy, public drunkenness, and then they throw murder at the very end of it. And the dude's like, yeah, I probably did all those things, but I'm innocent of murder. Apparently, he slept with the Duke's. Yeah, he slept with the Duke's wife, or something like that. So I think there's some personal aggravation there. That might have something to do with it. Anyway, right before the guy gets beheaded, old Agnes comes in here and she saves the day. All right, and from there, she's just a badass, right? She's sitting here, she's taking all these dudes on. She's talking about her story, and basically, they ride off. And they make it out. She frees them. So they have some internal dialogue, and he's kind of like, what have you been doing? And then she kind of gives a little bit of a backlog about where she's been. Apparently they're old friends that haven't seen each other in a while. She just was like, hey, I heard that you were going to get executed. I had to come save you. She gives some backstory about what she's been up to. And then this is where it gets kind of weird. This is where it kind of gets more dark. Because he's like, do you remember the first time I found you? And then she gets into this cutscene, which it kind of looks like it's her. But she's got longer hair. She's got a knife. Looks like her face is all covered with blood. But you don't know necessarily what from. And there's a little of a backstory. I guess her father pretty much willed her to be married to somebody, like one of these forced marriages, and she didn't want to get married to him, and some stuff happens. All right, read on if you want to find out more. Anyway, they find this little inn, right? And they're like, hey, you know what? Let's go. Let's try to get some food. Let's get some wine in our bellies, and let's try to get a good night's sleep. It's been a long day. And so basically, they walk in and some guy comes up to her and he's like, hey, did you say your name was Agnes? Do you mean Agnes something something something? And she's putting down the wine and she's like, you know what? From now on, you might know me as this, you might know me as this, but you will remember me as the Dark Agnes. And she sits there, she's pretty much she comes in like a boss. Right? She comes in like a boss, and she's like, I will kill every single person in here. This is what I've done. This is why I'm doing this. And it shuts everybody up. Everybody's like, and they apparently they get like a $500, or whatever the currency is there in France, like a 500 blah, 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 reward on her, right? On her head. But no one wants to mess with her, right? Anyway, they're sitting there, they're eating, they're talking. He's like, hey, you probably want to slow down on the wine. And, next thing you know, she's just conked out. She's conked out. The guy puts her to bed. And then it gets more this dark, kind of more history stuff about the character that we don't know about yet. It shows this altar with all these animal creatures around it. Like the preacher looks like he's got a wolf cat head. There's a guy with a pig head. So she's having these dark flashbacks. But apparently, I'm just gonna go out and adventure that this is what's the right word for it? Symbolism, right? I think that gives some strong symbolism when it comes to like, hey, this guy looks like it's the wolf, but he's also kind of talking like it might have been her father, you know, or her mother or something like that. Anyway, then it cuts back to the scene. Apparently her sword, and she mentions this sword several times throughout the book, was apparently her mentor. Her mentor was killed, I believe, by the Duke himself. And you know, she's mentioned this. She mentions the sword several times, but actually shows the scene of where the mentor dies, and he's like, you know, here, take my sword, may it serve you well. And then this dark figure kind of pops up right here. This is all still her dream, right? Anyway, she wakes up from her dream, and she's like, you know, she hears people kind of being loud outside. So she's looking outside, and there was this nun that was in there earlier, and there's this guy kind of cornering her, and basically he's like, you know, when I'm done with you, neither God nor the devil will take you in. Basically, it seems like he wants to rape the nun. That's what it seems like. But not on Agnes's watch, right? She jumps out the window. You know, she takes him out pretty quick. And then basically, yeah, she does. She takes him out for good, right? Agnes don't play no games. She doesn't play no games. Anyway, they're pretty much broke. Like, they were spending the last bit of money they had on them to stay at this place and get the food, and then we're just going to figure it out afterwards. Well, apparently, that nun was like, hey, I'm actually traveling to so-and-so. Would you mind, you know, pretty much being my bodyguard while we go there? And she's like, no, I'm not worried about that. She's like, I can pay. And she's like, I'll pay you good. So, next thing you know, they wake up and they're starting their little journey down the road, and they're going to a place called Fontainebleau. And the dude, her friend is like, we can't go there because that's where the Duke lives, you know. And she goes, I'll be put on death on arrival. And so he's freaking out. She's not so worried about it. But the next issue is called Into the Belly of the Beast. And I kind of like that cover. That's kind of cool. I don't know how well you can see that. So there you go. That's Dark Agnes. I actually like it. I actually really like it. I have to double check if this is... I think this is going to be an ongoing, or if this is going to be just one of those like shorter series. But I do like it. Like I said, it's a newer character to Marvel. I think she's a pretty cool character. The art seemed, the art was decent, and so who does the art? This is written by Becky Cloonan. The artist is Luca Bizzarri. J. David Ramos, colorist, and then you have Travis Lanham as the letterer. Stephanie Hans is the one that does the cover art on this one. So nice looking Hans cover. So yeah, this is probably one that I'll be picking up. It's one that I recommend. The one thing that I want to say that I didn't like it, but it makes it challenging, because when they did this big series, this one scene that I was telling you about, they're all talking in a different language. It might be French. It kind of looks Latin. I can't speak or read either one of them, and they do, there's no translation. They do a lot of that. And this is one of my bigger complaints, is that there were certainly dialogue that I'm gonna have to go in and do Google Translate just to figure out what the heck they're saying. So yeah, but Dark Agnes, I recommend it. If you like what you just heard and you haven't read this book yet, and you're so inclined to pick it up, awesome. That's why I do these reviews, to kind of get some of these books more exposed, let you guys know more about what's going on out there. Well, with that being said, y'all, I'm going to go try to get to work. Wish me luck. I will not drive through running water. Okay? So don't worry about that. I'm all about being safe. But I hope all of you guys are safe. Hope all of y'all have a wonderful, beautiful weekend. And I'll be checking back in with y'all here soon. Peace.